You read? You do? Well, there you go. Well, we'll talk about it too. But you know you get a bookmark. Here you go, Esther. I don't know if I brought enough for everybody. These are bookmarks. Little bookmarks. We have the My Plate. Okay, we'll talk about that. We have the My Plate. We're just going to talk about a little bit about nutrition. Okay, here you go. You reader? Voracious reader, huh? Yes. Bookmark. Tell me now you have them. Do you have some from down here? Oh. I always miss people. I didn't get a. We have one more. You left contract. My lady. Okay. Mark Russell. I only have one.
Yeah, it's okay. We share. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, but wait, why is it so small?
Because we look at the proper nutrition, it's going to split up our eyes and we're going to be able to see. Right? And you'll win the lottery and you'll, oh sure, okay, we'll do that. Ladies, let's share these, okay? Okay.
This is a
Want to pass them out?
sugar is 5 grams.
Okay, well, I don't have enough for everybody. I only have about 16. Okay.
I do this all the time. I read these.
Okay, who didn't get?
These are the little handouts. You can take them.
I love that cabbage soup. Didn't I tell you last night when I was here?
Oh, don't you want to wait for okay, put it out. Get it out.
Ellen, what are you giving out?
That's
Anybody else?
What is it, Ellen?
It's a bill, an invoice. Anybody else? Everybody got it?
okay. No, Bernice
I know why I take them.
okay, can I have your attention? Yes. As you see, we have a beautiful young lady here who is gracing our luncheon today. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about her that I know of her. I know her yet from Santa Barbara, which goes a long time. She worked at UCSB, right? And my husband took a liking to her right away. And he said, what a lovely lady. And that's how I know her. And then I came here, and here she is. And here is Alan. And the beautiful mother-in-law sitting there, Honda Star. And I remember when she went back to school, studying nutrition. And I gave her a lot of credit because she has a big family and a husband to take care of. And she did it, and she came through with flying colors. Okay, so let me just tell you a little bit about her. She's very humble, so I don't know too much about her, but I'll let her say. Her name is Nana Rushka Stark, and she has an MS RDN, which means she has a master's degree in nutritional science, and she currently works as a renal dietitian at a DaVita dialysis center. And in addition, Ms. Stark teaches nutritional science courses at California State University in Los Angeles and is a per diem dietitian at Silver Lake Medical Center. So with all that experience, she's going to teach us how to eat right. So I give you the sweet Thank you. I'm going to take Bernice with me everywhere I go. Okay, so the truth is I do teach nutrition. I do teach a basic nutrition class at Cal State LA. that I'm an alumna of the Cal State system, and so I work there and I teach students who want to be dietitians just about introductory nutrition classes. And we try to keep it very, very simple. And we used to have something called the pyramid. Do you guys remember the pyramid? Okay, well, the pyramid used to break everything down. So that was a little confusing for people, right? Because you would have the pyramid and you go, okay, but how much, how much is the tip? What does that all really mean? So we kind of changed things out, and now it's the My Plate, which is better in a certain way because it's more clear. And let's face it, we eat off plates, right? So it's easier for us to divide up a plate, okay, and know what we should be eating than it is to look at a pyramid, because most of us don't really, have pyramids in our homes and really can't assimilate that kind of information. So this is basically it. We divide our food groups. There's about 5 food groups, right? And I think it's, if you go into the activity booklet, which is from the Dairy Council, okay? There is no hidden agenda here, for anyone who's lactose intolerant, don't worry about it. The Dairy Council is merely providing you information, okay? There is a slant. I think every picture you're going to see someone's drinking a glass of milk or whatever. That's about as bad as it gets. But everything else is accurate. So this information is well presented, it's colorful, it's easy to see. Okay, so our basic food groups are, we have our vegetables, our fruits, our proteins and our grains, and then our dairy products. So you can see that our dairy products are kind of small, and most My Plates don't even have that. Okay, it's just the My Plate, because there are many people who don't eat a lot of dairy products. And for those of us who do, well, it's something we're going to put on the side of our plate. But we're going to put more emphasis on what's actually inside the plate itself. Okay? So the U.S. government, every 5 years, puts together a team, and they come together, they're scientists, they look at scientific research, which is ongoing. So they're looking at thousands and thousands of research that's done here and around the world, primarily here. And they are defining out what our guidelines are. And they're called the Dietary Guidelines for America. We just had some guidelines released, right, for 2016. We had some released. There was nothing major, nothing, whoa, except for the fact that the government is now quantifying your sugar intake. Before they never did that. Before they just said, oh yeah, sugar, oh, whatever. Now we know we want less than 10% of your daily intake to be from sugar. So how does that impact us? What does that really mean to you? You're going to say 10%. How am I going to quantify that? Everything is based on, and the little bookmark that I gave you is a nutrition label, because really, when we teach nutrition, when we talk to people about nutrition, we use the label as an example of how you're going to break down your foods, how you're going to know what you're eating, right? Because the truth is, most of us eat processed foods, right? We're buying our food. Well, okay, all right, but we can talk about that in a minute too, because there's sugar and then there's carbohydrates and what the difference is, okay? What the government is quantifying is added sugar, not sugar itself, because I'm looking on the table and I'm seeing a lot of sugar. And I'm not just looking at the cookies, there's nothing wrong with that, okay? Everything in moderation, right? Right. But what the government is saying to you, less than 10% of your calories should be from sugar, is added sugar. So it is talking about the cookies. It is talking about the soda. Okay, it's asking you to be mindful, because we know that added sugar has been linked to a lot of different medical problems. We know it's been linked to diabetes. We know it's been linked to hypertension. Okay, there are those scientific links there. Okay, so we're just concerned about it. So when we're looking at the nutrition label and we're saying, okay, but what does that really mean for me? The nutrition label breaks down what it is that's in the food that you're eating. Okay? If we had the box for the crackers or, you know, the box for the hummus or whatever it is that you all were eating, you would see a breakdown of what is actually in your food. Okay? So reading a nutrition label for most people, this is actually on page 3, is where we start. So when we're going to teach nutrition to anybody, and I work per diem at Silver Lake Medical Center, Ingleside campus, which is a lockdown site facility. Okay, so that's a whole other discussion for a whole other day.
What's a lockdown?
Lockdown means they're not able to leave a building. Yeah, these are psychiatric patients. Yeah. So I work with them, and this is the tool that I use when I talk to them. What you see on that little bookmark is what I use. Okay. The nutrition label, or your daily intake, is based on 2,000 calories a day. That's the average. That's what the government has determined is the average intake. Are we really eating 2,000 calories a day? Okay, some of you are eating more and some of you are eating less. Okay, what I meant was sometimes I'm eating more and sometimes I'm eating less. Okay, sometimes it's hard to gauge. You have to really pay attention. But the one way that you can kind of get an insight into it is you look at your nutrition label, and the first thing you're going to look at is serving size. Right? So the first thing you're going to look at is serving size. Because we can get carried away. Okay? When we get a box of something that we like, we're going to get carried away. Oh, this is good. I'm just going to eat this, and maybe I'll watch my show or my movie, or or listen to somebody talking, and I'll just be eating away. And the next thing you know, it's like, whoops, what did I do? Okay. So we're going to look at serving size. The little what you have there on your this is macaroni and cheese. So this is my favorite one. Okay. One serving size, I think, is a cup, right? All right. 1 cup. That's a serving size. Good luck, people, okay? Nobody's been able to do it, okay? I think it's been verified. 1 cup of mac and cheese, 250 calories, half of that from fat, right? There's 2 servings in the box. And what I say to my patients when we go over this food label is I say, when you eat the whole box, and you will eat the whole box, okay? Probably at one sitting, because mac and cheese is amazing, okay? It's like God's gift to the world. One of them, anyway. Know that that's 2 serving sizes. 250 calories plus 250 calories is 500 calories, right? It's 500 calories. All right? 200 of that from fat. Okay, just you got to bear that in mind. Okay, so when you're looking at the foods that you eat, it's hard to do because a lot of us just eat what we like and we don't think about it, but you have to kind of start quantifying it. What exactly am I eating? Okay? For the first time ever, no, I'm okay. I took crackers today for lunch. I read the serving size. Serving size is like an ounce. So I put an ounce in my little Ziploc and I took it to work with me. You know? And it's like, thank you. Did I do that at home when I was putting them into the Ziploc? 1 to the Ziploc, 1 to me, 1 to me. Okay. All right, so that's how that worked out. And that's what we do. Okay, that's what's kind of gotten us into the situation where if you look around America, right, 2/3 of us are overweight or obese. All right, and that's a segue into diabetes, hypertension, kidney disease, all kinds of other problems. Okay? So one way that we are trying to deal with this, right, is that we're trying to start looking at the foods that we eat and how we can eat them better. So if you move to the middle, which is right what we're going to talk about, which is basically the My Plate laid out linear instead of in a circle. Okay, we're going to look at our 5 food groups. Okay, and it's even going to tell you, all right, what's a serving size? Right, so this is your daily intake. Your first group, of course, Dairy Council, thank you very much. Your dairy products, right? So that's your first group. 3 cups a day. 3 cups a day is what the government recommends. Not the Dairy Council, the government. The Dairy Council is very happy about that. but the government says 3 cups a day is going to